Hey, everyone. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn. And yes, myself and Vanessa are back together. I know we were separate, and it was me, and it was her, and her, and then me. And well, here we are. And we even brought a couple other folks to the party today, some really, really special users and experts to share a lot of just powerful information with you today. Vanessa, what do you think? What's going on?
I'm excited about today. First of all, hi, Joe. And I never know which side to high five you on. So it's this side. High five. Other
There
way.
we go.
High
Bam,
five.
bam. Okay, we're there.
We made
All right.
it. So
All right.
listen,
Perfect.
excited about today's Lunch and Learn. We're going to be talking about secrets of a mailbox power user. And I bet you didn't read that announcement like that when we put it out there. Secrets of a mailbox power user. So, what are the things that power users do? And that's maybe some of the rest of us tips and tricks that maybe some of the rest of us don't know about. But before we get to that, Joe, as usual, we ask people what they're having for lunch today. And I'd love to know, hey, Teresa, good to see you. Hey, Marie. So love to hear what you all are having for lunch today. Joe, have you had lunch?
I've had my first lunch. My second lunch will come right after this,
Oh
and
my
I'm hungry.
goodness.
So it's
I
that
forgot
time.
about your whole first breakfast, second breakfast, first lunch, second lunch situation.
I know. Like, eat them in small portions, no bigger than the fist, and you can eat all day long, right? You just keep
You
going,
are
and it's good.
fortunate to have a nice high metabolism, my friend.
Yes, definitely. A little bit of exercise never hurt anybody either. Jeez. Anyway,
It's
butternut
true. It's
squash
true.
soup. Ooh,
All right.
with fresh cracked pepper, I hope.
Salad and female truck driver fixing to stop at Love's Truck Stop. Don't know what in the world I can find that healthy. Oh, I'm sure you'll find something. That is fantastic.
Let's hope there's a
I
Subway
remember
there for
seeing
you.
those when you're going on long road trips. I remember seeing those Love's Truck Stops all over the place. So ham and cheese on wheat sounds good. Homegrown lettuce. Marie, did you know that she has one of those cool is it a
Arrow
vertical garden?
Yeah.
Very
Love
cool.
those things. Yes,
Very
I
cool.
want one.
All right,
I
let's
love
get
people to eat
to
dessert
this,
first.
Joe.
But yeah, let's go. Let's get to this.
Because
I
they're
want to
making me
learn
hungry.
some tips. I'm going to learn stuff today, I'm sure, with these two in the waiting room.
Well, let's tell everyone who's in the waiting room.
Okay, listen, folks. Before I bring them on, I want to tell you about our certified training partners. They are literally the smartest amongst us. I learned from them. And I think I was here first, but I learned from them, and so do so many others. When people call in and go, "We need help," guess who talks to them? Yep, the certified training partners. These are the folks. And the two we have brought with us today are absolute specialists. These are the folks that know the system inside and out. They tell our programmers what's going on. If you know what I mean, they know it so well that they're telling the programmers what's going on with the system. And we're just damn lucky to have them. Let's put it that way. Just damn lucky to have them. So can we bring in Miss Brenda Sanchez and Miss Andrea Shepard, please? Thank you. Welcome, you two. Good to have you. Awesome. Boy, folks, get your notebooks out, get a pen, get a paper, get a pencil, get your iPad, get your note-taking devices, because now's the time. We're going to learn something today. No doubt about it.
For sure. So excited to have you ladies here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here.
This is fun. It's always fun to have you all on a call and as guests. And I know you both do training calls throughout the week. So that is fantastic. And I know a ton of people attend those training calls and get such a great education from you. But we thought we'd bring you on the Lunch and Learn today so that you can tell us some of the secrets or some of the things that you've discovered or some of the things that really make life easier for you when you're using Mailbox Power. So I know, Andrea, you and I have talked about naming projects, and you have a whole system that you use for naming projects so that you know what goes with what and what goes where. Because listen, folks, when you help as many people as Andrea helps, she's got project upon project upon project within her design store area. So within her saved projects. So she's got a lot of things going on, as does Brenda. But Andrea has a really unique way of naming things that I think is going to click with a lot of you. So Andrea, can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I can. And my design store stuff has its own naming convention tied to it, which I won't get into here. what really works for me in terms of projects that I'm using for automations, or if I'm sending personal holiday cards or what have you. I always, if a project is tied to an automation, I start the name of the project with auto in all caps. It's a visual reminder clue to me to go, oh, I don't want to edit this, because if I edit it, even if I'm in the projects, it's still tied to an automation. And that's very tricky stuff right there. So if it has auto at the beginning, I know, oh, I can't touch that. And then for one-off sends, I'll do a last name, first name, and then maybe a little keyword at the end to remind me why I sent it. Was it a thank you card, a birthday, or some reason for a one-off, so that I can keep it, and I can copy it and use it again if I want to. And I know Brenda has her own naming conventions as well. So would you like a shot?
Sure. So I actually like the auto. I haven't used that, so I might start using that because it's shorter than what I do. At the end, especially when I'm helping customers, at the very end, I put "do not touch" because then they know not to touch it because it's tied to an automation. So I like auto, although "do not touch" is pretty obvious not to touch it and edit it. And then I do the same thing Andrea does if it's a one-off project, is I give it whoever, like if I'm sending a card to Vanessa, I put thank you, Vanessa Hunter, or thinking of you, Vanessa Hunter, so that I know that that was specifically for Vanessa, so that I don't accidentally add it to the cart and send it to somebody else and it's got Vanessa's picture in it, or a personalized message to Vanessa. Because trust me, I've done that before. And I know Vanessa has too, because we've had these conversations where you don't even think about it. You're in the midst of your day running and trying to get a lot of things done, and you need those obvious reminders of auto or do not touch so that you remember.
And this is why that happens, Brenda. I'm laughing because I have done it. This is why that happens, because a lot of us have a thank you card that we use, right? And so I'll go in and really customize a thank you card because I'll think I need to take it to the next level for this person, or they shared a fun picture on Facebook or something like that, and I'll put that in there. But what I should do is stop, duplicate the project for whenever you're going to customize something. Stop, duplicate the project, and then go ahead and rename it with that person's name or whatever. But don't start messing around with things that you already have. And like both of these ladies have said, if it's tied to an automation, don't change it unless you want to change the whole entire automation. But otherwise, you want to duplicate whatever project you're doing and make the edits to that. That is the safe way of doing it. The other thing that I have learned is duplicate the project and rename it immediately.
Yes.
Rename it immediately so that you don't have copy of blah, 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 whatever the project is. But get that rename in there immediately.
And
now, I have to admit something. It sounds like I'm going to be the odd person out today.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to admit something. I just looked. I have 1,919 projects in my saved projects, and I have named nothing consistently. So it is an absolute disaster area. When I go in there looking for something specific, it might take me a half a day sometimes, but sometimes it's really important to me.
Oh.
Don't be Joe today, okay?
You're next done for you.
Follow them. They're much smarter than me, and it looks like I'm going to start naming my projects a little different. Okay, sorry. Next.
So Vanessa, one thing I would say too that I learned that's a trick that we all know, we use it in Word and in other projects, but before you hit rename, highlight and copy the name of the project so that you can just hit paste and put Vanessa at the end or Andrea at the end. It took me a long time to realize, even though I use it all the time in other programs, to use it.
Wow. Well, yes. And to your point, Brenda, this just happened to me the other day. But So duplicate the project, copy of the original project name is what you're saying. When it's time to rename it, you'll have that. When you duplicate it, you can just paste it in and add the person's name at the end. Does that make sense to everybody? I know what I'm talking about. You know what you're talking about. Hopefully the people that are listening know what we're talking about when it comes to naming projects and these little quick shortcuts that you can do to keep things consistent. Because when you're sitting there with how many, Joe?
1,919 unnamed clearly projects. Yes, that would be how many.
That is what you don't want to create.
I know.
That is what you don't want to create. You want to make sure everything is consistent and easy to find. That's the other thing, ladies. Do you use keywords when you're naming things so that you can find it?
I do.
So, okay.
I
Or
also
key letter
use-
combos.
And
I'm
what
sorry?
was that?
Or key letter combos. Like my nice to meet you is always
NTM.
NTM. Yeah. Y. MTMY.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
used to use some of those, but as I get older and I'm not as good with the acronyms, I just spell everything out other than thank you. Thank you is TY and then but other than that it messes with my mind, so I spell it out.
Well, and that is really the key, isn't it? To do what works for you, to implement the system that works for you. And if it's not going to trigger, oh, that's a nice to meet you when you see that acronym, then it doesn't help. It doesn't save you any time at all. So I think that's another tip is to find a system that works for you and be consistent with it.
Another
I have
thing.
a question about naming really quick. So what about an automation? Because an automation has projects and a group. And how do you name it so everything all ties together and you're not all mixed up? And I'm asking for a friend, by the way, but go ahead.
For a friend who has a lot of projects.
So, Joe, I actually name everything the same as much as possible.
Okay.
So I want my group to be happy birthday. I want my project to be happy birthday. And if I do a male and a female, I'll say happy birthday male and happy birthday female. And my group will be the exact same thing because when I go into my groups and I have a lot of projects, I don't know how many because I don't have my system up, but it's a lot like Joe has. And when you have that many groups, I want it to be easy to know what I'm adding people to. So if I have a group that says happy birthday female and happy birthday male, and I check that box, I know that the happy birthday female or the happy birthday male automation is going, or the nice to meet you at BNI. So I have a group. This is nice to meet you at BNI.
Okay.
So that because each group I customize, sort of like Vanessa said, I make it kind of unique to that group. And I want the group of people. And then I want that group to be obvious what I'm adding them to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My friend will be happy to know this. This is great information. Thank you.
I do something very similar to what she does, but I'll add automation to the end of the group name so that, again, I'll forget. So it's a visual clue for me. This group is tied to an automation and the group will be named similarly, but with the name automation at the end, it helps keep me organized and consistent. And the other thing I do is I use project folders, especially for any projects that are used in automations. If I pull up my automations folder, everything in there is a no touch unless I want to change it for everybody that receives it.
Oh, I like the project folders. That's a good one. I have favorite folders and things like that, but I love the project folders. And also, since you work with a lot of clients, I'm sure you have project folders for all of your clients as well. That's very cool. Very cool. Okay, Brenda, you and I ran into something or we're talking about something. let's explore this a little bit, because I think there is some confusion. We talk about automations a lot because they save people so much time. But when do you just do a card and send it to a list of recipients? And when do you create it as an automation?
So, great question, Vanessa, because I've had that a lot lately. Because everybody thinks they need to build an automation for everything, and you really don't. So, when I'm just sending one off type cards, even a holiday card, unless I'm building a holiday automation today and I say send for a future date, I do an event. And so maybe I build the holiday today and I start adding people to it, but it's not going to go until maybe the middle of November for Thanksgiving. Then I'll do that as an automation. But otherwise, that type I would just do as a single send. I've run into a lot of network marketing and direct sales people who have specials every single month. And they want to put it on an automation. They're like, but I need to put it in an automation so that I can add October and then November and then December. And I said, it doesn't work that way, because unless you have multiple shipments in an automation. So let's say we're in September. So let's say you have your September, October, and November. If you don't know what those specials are going to be and can have them pre-built, then you could do it that way, because then you could add November to it as long as October hasn't gone. But 9 times out of 10 with direct sales and network marketing companies, you don't know until the last minute. So I just build the card or the postcard, and then I tell them to just put everybody they want to send that card to in a group and start sending it out. And like I said yesterday to somebody who was on the 101, I said, add people to the group. And because I need your address links, when somebody fills it out, you get a text message saying that they were added to that group. Now you can go send the card, that special of the month, to them. And you would just send it one at a time as they are added after you send the big group. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. So what you're saying in a nutshell, and I want to come back to a point you just made, but what you're saying in a nutshell is you don't always need an automation. It's not always going to save you time. It's going to save you time if it's a repetitive thing. Like if you always send the same thank you card, you can just add someone to that thank you group and it will send out that thank you card. But like Brenda's saying, if you have a unique message that gets changed on a monthly basis, you're just going to create the card, the postcard, whatever it may be, and then you can send it to your group of recipients very easily. Click of a button. You're still saving the same amount of time. You don't have to go to the post office. You don't have to stamp it, stick it, label it, or any of those things. You're still saving a ton of time, but it doesn't necessarily have to go in an automation. Brenda, you said one thing. You can add it. You said you can add to an automation that hasn't sent the last send. Let's talk about that. Let's say I have an automation that has 6 shipments. And as it goes through, I decide I want to add 6 more because I want it to now go every 30 days for a year instead of just 6 months. Can I add to that automation?
Yes. So there are 2 caveats, though. You can add to the automation as long as the last shipment hasn't gone. So if all 6 that you pre-set up have gone, adding shipments to it won't send to those people.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to create a new one. So as long as that last shipment hasn't gone, you can add more to it. So that's what I coach people to do, because many people say, oh, I can come up with the first 4 months, sort of like a newsletter or information about their business for 4 months, but I don't know about 5, 6, 7 months out.
Yeah.
And I say, as long as you add those before the last one goes, then you're okay. Even if one person, let's say Vanessa got added today and everybody else gets added in a month and Vanessa's has ended, then Vanessa won't get the new ones added, but everybody else will, as long as they haven't gotten that last shipment.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't confuse people.
So I guess what we're saying is, as long as the automation has not completed,
right,
then you can go ahead and add to it. If it is completed, all the sends, then you can't. You would need to create a new automation, which is just easy to do, but it would not all be in one. You'd have it in multiple automations. So that's getting into the weeds a little bit on things like that, but that is really good to know. If you're one of the users who sends out a lot of things or has an automation set up, you do not have to start over again. You could add to it as long as it's still active for people. So that's a great point. Andrea, I know.
Hey, my friend's going to learn a lot today. You guys are awesome. Let's keep going.
Andrea, let me ask you this, Andrea. We talk about simplification. We talk about simplifying things, saving people time. I know we have a lot of professionals who use Mailbox Power to either grow their business, keep in touch with their existing clients and customers, or grow revenue by talking to people about sales and specials and things like that. I know that you spend a good deal of time on integrations and making sure that people who already have a CRM or already have something where they're storing people's data, mainly, well, I think it's in all industries, but I know we see it a lot in the real estate industry, right? Where people already have a CRM, they already have somewhere where they're storing their clients' data, they have their client list, and then you assist them in making sure they don't have to maintain the data in two places. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. In fact, I just finished setting up an integration for a real estate agent who uses a CRM, and she has tags that she uses inside of her CRM. So when she closes on a deal, they get a certain tag, and when she's prospecting, so everybody's tag based. So what I did was I built out a very elaborate integration so that anytime she's in her CRM and she adds somebody new, whatever tag she applies, they get added to Mailbox Power in a group. And some are associated with an automation, some are not. Some are just there to collect the people and get them into Mailbox Power. But the ones that we set up with the tags, they're all tied to groups that have automation built in. So she never even has to go log into Mailbox Power to be using the power of Mailbox Power. Does that make sense?
Wow. Yes. That, I mean, talk about a time saver, right? Because I think there are a lot of people that are like, yeah, I'd love to use it, but I don't have time to figure all that out. Well, the nice thing is when you tap into a brain like Andrea, she can facilitate that for you so that you don't have to go into Mailbox Power at all. Like this person isn't. She's just maintaining everybody in the CRM that she's already very familiar with.
Yep.
So we're not asking her to learn anything new, right?
No.
That's awesome. Listen,
just to use her tags consistently.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. So that would be a good thing. So listen, somebody, a Facebook user, and I'm sorry, we can't call you by name because you haven't registered with StreamYard. If you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, then we'll be able to see your comments in the future. But right now we see you as a Facebook user, and they said off topic, and I'm going to put it on the screen here. Where do I find documentation about the done for you services and pricing? So I'm going to ask you, Andrea, if you don't mind to open up, let's add you to the stream here. And we can now see Andrea's screen. Do you mind hitting that home button so that we can show people where they can find the done for you options?
Sure. So I'm logged into my account and I click home over on the left-hand side and just scroll down a little bit to need help getting started right here and click on done for you.
And can you go ahead and click on that?
If I do that, it's not going to share.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I told it to only share that tab.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So that's where it is in the done for you right there in the middle. Can you hover over it again, Andrea, just so people can see that? Right underneath, need help getting started, done for you. That will take you to a page that'll tell you all about our Done For You program. Now, some of you, as we're speaking here today, some of you are already going, oh my goodness, my wires are crossed. This is too much. I can't even figure this out. But some others are loving this and going, oh, now I know how to label my projects, and now I know how to do all this. If you are one of the people that feels like your wires are crossed right now, you want to definitely go to the Done For You program. Take a look. We have simplified it. We have made it so simple, but you don't have to do anything. You can partner with one of our certified training partners. Andrea and Brenda are both available, as well as 3 other people that we have available to you to go in and tap into their expertise. These ladies do this all day, every day for clients, for themselves, for businesses that they assist. And they can help with that. So they can help you take care of all this for a nominal fee. They will set all this up for you. You don't have to learn any of it. So that is an option that's available. And I want to make sure that everybody knows about that, because Joe, you and I both know people who are in business are crazy busy. And the last thing they need is to try to have to figure out a new system, right?
Yeah. And let me add this. Who do you want setting up your account? Me or these two? I can promise you your stuff will be named appropriately. It'll be filed accordingly. Your automation's all, you'll know where to go find your stuff. It'll be automated. And with me, I don't even know what you'll get. So anyway, you might get a cool card or two, but that's about it. You'll get all that with them and so much more.
A great point. So good. So good. That's a great point, Joe. So yeah, you want your business in the hands of a professional, somebody who's going to keep you organized and make things simplified for you. So awesome. Awesome. All right. Ladies, are there any other tips or any other nugget of information you can share with our watchers and our listeners today that will help them just streamline what they're doing with Mailbox Power?
So you talked earlier, Vanessa, about favorites folders.
Yeah.
And I love using favorites folders because if you've ever gone to a store and gone down the card aisle, you start looking at things. You go to our design catalog, you start looking at birthday cards and you're like, ooh, I like this one. Ooh, I like that one. And you're not sure which one you want to choose. And so you click on a whole bunch of them and you get to the end and you're like, oh, I really like the first one the best. But if you favorite them, if you use the heart and favorite them, you can put them in a folder called Happy Birthday or Thank You or Thinking of You or Nice to Meet You or Happy Holidays, so that later on you can go back. And the best part is let's say you choose one happy birthday today and you have a favorites folder. Now you've set yourself up for success for years to come because you've already favorited a whole bunch of other ones that you can just go grab and swap out. So I love doing that.
Yeah, that's a great idea and great tip, Brenda. Do you have anything, Andrea?
I think one of the things, especially in the trainings that I hear, is people buy stuff from the store. They haven't got nailed the favorites down yet. They just go ahead and buy, right? And then they go look in their projects folder and they're like, where did it all go? So being able to find your purchase designs is key and something I teach in almost every training. How to find your purchased designs. Should I show it?
Yes, please. Yes.
All right, so I'm logged into the demo account. Hopefully there's some here.
Let me add you here. There we go.
All right, can you see?
Yep, we can see your screen, yes.
Okay, so I clicked on Design Catalog, and then this little button right over here, Purchase Designs. So if you've spent any money in the design store and couldn't find your projects, they will all be here.
In Purchase Designs. So
yes.
Those are designs that you have purchased, and now they're all right there. You can find them easily. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can I add something to this conversation really quick? I don't know if this is valuable, but a few people have found value in this. Can you click on the favorites for me on the sidebar nav, Andrea? And this is for
Absolutely.
people who maybe you're in a sales situation where there's quite a few sales folks, and some of you are starting to use Mailbox Power. And you can create a folder of all the great things that you're doing and see the three little dots. Let's just go to awesome designs. Or yeah, you could create a folder. Sure. Yep. There you go. Yep. All great things. Awesome.
I'm
Perfect.
doing.
And she creates this folder, right? And basically you can now add any design you want to that folder and then share it with other users of Mailbox Power by using the three little dots at the top. You just click on it and the quick actions will come up where you can actually share that folder. And there it is, share folder.
Share folder, rename it.
Yep. And you can email it, text it, messenger. You can't yell from the rooftops, but you can definitely, definitely share it. So anyway, just wanted to pass that on. It's a great way if you're in the same office and there's quite a few Mailbox Power users to be able to share common designs that everybody's having success with. And we see that a lot in insurance and the real estate professionals.
Yeah.
And because it's a link, a QR code could be attached to it too. So you can.
Yes. Brilliance.
Always thinking. Also, those I Need Your Mailbox links that you send out that put people in groups, you can convert that to a QR code as well. So lots of different tips and tricks and shortcuts here. We've got to wrap this up though. We are out of time.
What? We just got started.
I know. I feel like this needs to be a monthly feature because there's so many cool things here. So ladies, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. I know that people are walking away with some great little nuggets of information.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Definitely.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. I mean, it really is a pleasure. And just knowing that you are our certified training partners and you are the ones that are helping those lost souls out there that know that the mailbox is a bastion of opportunity for them, but they just can't quite figure it out. You two, you're in trusted hands with our certified training partners, and we just proved it. We just put two of the brightest right in front of you, so you kind of understand and learn from them. There might be some things you're struggling with, and these are the folks that will take care of you. And honestly, the pricing now is it's crazy. I'm still unsure why they're doing it for that little money, but I'm happy camper about it. Happy camper. Anyway, all right. Last words.
Yes, I just want to say if you have missed any of this Lunch and Learn or any of our other Lunch and Learns, please head over to youtube.com/mailbox power and you can catch a lot of different things that we talk about and also some tutorials if you want to know more about the system and how to use it.
Awesome. Okay, listen, folks, next week, Experts Unleashed. Joseph Battaglia, an insurance specialist. Andrea knows him very, very well. He is going to teach you and impart upon you his knowledge, and I can't wait for that. You will see me for a brief moment. Vanessa won't be here. But anyway, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing your time, your most valuable asset, and you just shared 30 minutes with us. We appreciate you very much. We love you. Have a great day, and hope to see you around. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.